Hello worldo, this is Gemini Wolfstar Gaming. It's Anton, and welcome back to more Robotics Notes DaSH. Last time, Kaito managed to calm, Frau down with her wanting to, try and win the beauty pageant her way. And her way was wanting to cheat, but he managed to convince her that we can try and do it legitimately. Gave a really good speech, and then later we ran into Juna, who was all kind of frantic because some woman was saying that she saw the Nurio Meijo. So now, I guess, Kaito and Daru are on the trail of this Nurio Meijo. So, it's... this game has been a trip. For sure. And the supernatural element, while it's very interesting and odd that this aspect is in this game, it's I find it to be a very welcome addition because I like this kind of stuff. And with that, Yashio-kun and I decided to go to the location where the Nurio Meijo was first witnessed in order to get to the bottom of this rumor. Yes, it is. By the way, it's just before 10 at night. There's no one on the streets right now. Only the moonlight and lamps on the street illuminate the silence. This is the perfect place for a yokai to pop up. Like, hey, boo! I don't really know yokai all that well, so it's like they're like small, like little wisps of ghosts, right? Or am I thinking about that wrong? Same. I'm with Daru. It's like I said, I like to believe the unbelievable. It's like, come on, Kaito. It's like he's, I guess, too logical. That there's like an explanation for everything. Not everything has to have an explanation. Oh jeez. Come on, Daru. It's like, stop saying it that way. Does it? Does Tanegashima have a lot of yokai legends? It's like this is the first we're hearing about this. It's like, it was never brought up in the first game. Not that I can remember anyway. He's right. Okay, so there's been about 10 witnesses. And they've all seen this Nurio Meijo? What is going on? I mean, is it indeed the supernatural, or is it just Kimijima-ko messing with us again? Actually, come to think of it, given what Kimijima-ko has put us through already throughout this game so far, I wouldn't hold it past him of him doing this to us, giving us this the whole supernatural element. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense now in my mind. So it has to be Kimijima-ko.
それはそうかもしれないけどさ。
After 45 minutes of going back and forth.
出ないね。
やっぱさ、妖怪なんていないって。そろそろ帰る。
So they didn't find anything.
待って。
What? What's that noise? Is it a Norio Meijo?
何?
It's like a... now I'm just picturing this Norio Meijo coming up to Daru and saying, I'm slippery. And then Daru would get all hot and bothered.
何か聞こえる。
またそうやって適当な。
本当だって。ほら、耳を澄まして。
Oh, I'm listening. I can't help but hear these sound effects. Because I'm wearing headphones.
本当だ。
な。
We hurriedly hide ourselves in the shadows. The watery sounds grow closer. Watch it not be a Norio Meijo and it just being like Frau or eventually the figure of someone appears from the darkness. What? Down, Daru. The silhouette is long and slender. Slender woman. It has legs, so it must not be a ghost. That doesn't mean anything. Ghosts can have legs. Come on. It's like we're not dealing like with Casper. Come on. Oh, it's a Sui. That is definitely Yusui. What is she doing out this late? The shadow eventually walks over to the streetlight and reveals itself.
ねえ、あれってさ。
濡れスケ美少女
Daru. Ah!
あなたたち
This CG. She actually looks kind of creepy. It's like that's kind of a creepy look on her face. If I'm being honest. Hi, Yusui. What are you doing?
Kaito sensei.
The one who appears in the light is none other than the vice principal herself.
あなたたちこんな時間にこんなところで何をしているんです
I'm asking you the same thing. What are you doing here? She looks like she has something in her arms. What is she carrying?
俺たちはまあちょっと教頭先生こそなんでしかもその頭
It's all loose. We've never seen her with loose hair.
これはそのちょっとプールに
You were at the pool. Swimming?
プールこんな遅い時間に
pura. It's like just some words that the Japanese have to say that don't quite sound right to, like, you know, anyone who doesn't speak Japanese. You know, like pura. It's like since the L sound doesn't really exist in the Japanese language, it's like they kind of have to make do with how to say pool.
別に嫁嬢コンテストに向けてというわけじゃありませんよ。ただちょっと美容のために。
I beg to differ. She says as she sorts her hair with her hands. In other words, she was working out at the pool for the Yomejo contest. It's like preparing herself.
その夜に泳ぐのはやめた方がいいと思いますよ。
It's like preparing herself, training herself, whichever. And of course, why would Kaito say that it's not a good idea to swim at night? Have you never heard of swimming at night before, Kaito? It's like a nice cool dip at night. That would actually feel rather refreshing, if you ask me.
どうしてですか？
それはその夜の水泳はお肌の乾燥を促進して逆に美容に良くないそうですから。
I've never heard that.
そうなのですか。
はい、最近の学会でそう発表されたらしいですよ。タブーニュースに載ってました。
Taboo news? I don't know if I really believe that.
もう。
The vice principal looks quite shocked as she vows never to swim at night again and walks away down the dark street. Ha! Slow dots.
世の中の噂話ってのはこんなもんだよね。
Yeah. True enough, Kaito. Yeah. Well, that was... That happened. It's like, false alarm. Not a Yuri no Meijo. Just a Sui, like, going home after a good night's swim? A good night's dip? Daru, are you okay? I think he's I think he's still on a high of being all hot and bothered.
橋田さん？
よくも騙した！騙してくれたの！
He did not trick you, Daru. Come on. It's like, how were we to know that it was gonna be a Sui? Come on.
謝れ！期待に膨れ上がった僕の気持ちに謝れ！
Sorry.
知らないよ。
What is your problem then, Kaito?
あれが本当の濡れ濡れ女教師ですか？そうですか。がっくり。
Oh God. It's like, don't put slippery wet with vice principal ever again, Daru. Just don't. I'm sure Yashio-kyun is disappointed on the inside too.
それにしても教頭先生にあんな出任せ言っちゃってよかったの？すっかり信じてたけど。
sure seemed like she did.
教頭先生が濡れ嫁嬢だって思われてるなんて本人に言うわけにもいかないから。
Yoshio-kyun scratches his head.
とにかくあの装置のせいじゃないってことも分かったし、これでとりあえずは妖怪騒ぎも収まるでしょ。
I wouldn't be so sure about that, Kaito. And well, we figured this would be the end of it all. This is definitely not the end of it yet. Definitely not. Back to Frau. Meanwhile, fading the creature again, someone exits an old Nakatani building. Frau. It's Kojiro Frau, of course. Just as she did yesterday, she looks around to check that no one else is in the area before entering the old airport carrying a heavy load with her. More food. She calls out toward the shadows of the buildings. A white creature appears from the shadows, just like the night before. So, whatever this creature is, this creature, whatever it is like something supernatural. Whether it be actually something supernatural or whether it be something supernatural that Kimiji Mako conjured up. And Frau is the only one who has seen this creature so far. It's like, when is anyone else going to notice it? That's what I'm wondering. A white creature appears from the shadows just like the night before. But there's one thing different about it today. That is... What? That's right. The creature, once the size of a tiny dog, is now the size of a large dog in just one night. Okay, so whatever it is growing exponentially.
でかくなりすぎ笑った。
It's like the CG of Frau. It's just kind of like a little disconcerting, but also kind of funny at the same time. Despite Frau's surprise, the creature chows down on the books that she puts out. After finishing them off in record time, it begins to plead for more. It's like, it's like this. Whatever this creature is channeling Oliver Twist. Some more, please.
いや、今日はもうないので。
The creature droops sadly. Aww.
これは困ったことになってきたかも。とりあえず今日のところはこれでも聞いて。
Frau hurriedly plays her favorite Nia vid, and the white creature clings onto Frau's leg as if to encourage her. It's like, this is all very curious, very mysterious, and also very interesting. It's like, so far, Frau's route, I feel like it is the most interesting. Then again, we've only done one full route so far. We've only done Aidi's route. This is only the second route that we're doing. Then again, I did accidentally get onto Nae's route when I didn't mean to, and then switched over to Frau's route, so you know, I'll eventually get back to Nae's route. I'll really have to refresh my memory. I cannot talk of what happened along Nae's route that I already covered. I could go over it again, you know, in real time, but I could do that. But I think at that point it would be like so incredibly long ago that I did part of Nae's route that it actually might be a good idea if I actually covered what I already covered again. It's like, what are your guys' opinion? It's like, should I do that or not, or should I just have a like quick recap? It's like, let me know in the comments.
Watashi wa わかった。ちょっとだけ。
After muttering shyly, Frau starts stepping lightly to the tune. Doing a little dancing. just a slight little jig. Her elegant movement seems dreamlike compared to how she normally holds herself. I somehow feel like this could help her with the beauty pageant.
どや
The white creature stares at her intently, perhaps satisfied by her proud dancing. Huh.
つまり、夜のプールで泳いでた人が帰るところだったってこと？
Yes. Did they tell Juna who it was that they saw?
そういうこと。ほら、あの辺り暗いでしょ？
そうそう。人間不安な気持ちになると、普通のもんでも変なもんに見えたりしちゃうんだよね。
Very true. Very true. The next morning, we report to Juntan about the outcome of our Nuryo-Meijo investigation. Of course, we keep the vice principal's name under wraps because even we aren't that cruel. I guess that's fair enough.
Ito, じゃあもう妖怪は出ないっていうことでいいのかな？
I wouldn't hold my breath, exactly. I mean, there could be more supernatural shenanigans to come.
そうだね。大丈夫だと思う。
なんだ、ちょっとつまんない。
I guess Akiho wants to experience it for herself. Akitan, who was listening in, says with a tinge of disappointment.
私も、もしかしたら本物の妖怪がいるかもって、ちょっと期待してたんです。
I'm a little disappointed that I don't have my face cam because I am doing, you know, the whole ID thing with her hands. It's like that pose is just too cute, and I can't help but, you know, do that myself along with her. Directly next to us, Aiditan sighs sadly.
私としては騒動にならなくてよかったんだけど。
Anyway, it looks like we can put this whole yokai thing behind us now.
そういえばお兄ちゃん、フラウさんのコンテストはどうなってますか？
とりあえずコナちゃんは出る気になってくれてるんだけどね。
へえ、あのフラウボーが。
ただ問題は何をどうすれば優勝できるか、俺たちにも今一つ具体的な案がないってこと。アキちゃんたち何かいい方法ない？
いい方法ね。
I mean, all three of them are girls. Frau could use their help. I kind of forgot about Heidi. It's like she could possibly help Frau as well. I mean, Frau, not Frau, but Heidi did get a taste of what it is like to, you know, be the center of attention on stage. So even though that was in her own route, it's like maybe that experience in her route kind of, I don't know, transfers over to other routes. I don't know. It's like we've never really seen that happen before, but you know, it would be kind of nice if it did.
そうですね。
The three of them fall into silence, eyebrows strained.
ごめん、アキちゃんたちに聞いた俺が悪かったよ。
確かにうちらじゃ役に立てないかもしれないけど、それはそれでなんかショック。
It's like, oh, Akio. It's like, don't feel discouraged to feel like you can't help. It's like any help that you can provide would be a great help to Frau. I'm sure it would. Girls are complicated. I mean, while we guys may say that, I wouldn't be surprised if girls also say that about boys. I would not be surprised.
これはあくまで一般論なんだけど、やっぱりまずは見た目なんじゃないかな。
That's a good place to start. Yes. I guess everybody thinks similarly. Similarly. Ah, I can't speak.
フラウさんは外見も魅力的ですよ。
She very much is. Yes. It's like, despite her, you know, kind of brash, outlandish personality, Frau is very attractive.
それは私もそう思うけど、でもフラウちゃんって飾りっ気ないでしょ？って私が言うのもなんだけど。
Oh, Juna. I mean, like I said, Frau is not a girly girl. It's like she is gonna need some help with this pageant.
いや、それは俺たちも思ってたんだけどさ、ほら、女子のファッションとかってよくわかんないし。
Well, time to get a crash course then, I guess.
そもそも綺麗な格好をしてもらおうにも物がないとダメなわけでさ。
この中でフラウボーが着て似合いそうな服持ってる人は
out of the three of them, that's kind of a tough call. I mean, I kind of feel like each one of them would have something that would look good on Frau.
う
saying Juna and Heidi are at a loss. Needless to say, it was always gonna end up like this. It's like, don't say that, Daru, come on. But, demo. Yeah, what's that laugh for?
何がおかしいの、橋田さん。
こういう時に言うべきセリフを言わせてもらうお。
Oh yeah? I'm a little worried what this quote is. It's like, is it gonna be something pervy?
言うべきセリフ？
そう。こんなこともあろうかと。
And just as I loudly boast, she appears with perfect timing. Frau?
お待たせしました、橋田さん。
Oh no, Nae. Yes, it is Nae-tan. Nae-tan walks over with her usual smile and gently hands over a large paper bag.
はい、これ、お願いされたもの。
ナエさん、それは？
ドレスです。橋田さんに頼まれて持ってきたんですよ。
Oh. There we go. It's like Nae would also have something for Nae to wear. It's like each of the other girls can contribute to, you know, Frau's appearance. I mean, even though that Nae is gonna be in the contest, it's like she did say that she would help in any way she could. That's right. In order to compete at the contest, we need to have a battle outfit. Battle outfit? That's not quite right, Daru. However, none of us have the budget nor the sensibilities to pick one. Maybe not you and Kaito, but the girls would. So naturally, our next plan of action is to borrow one.
とは言っても、私もおしゃれな服なんてそう思ってないので、昔着たもののお古なんですけど。
Oh, I'm sure that's fine.
ナエタンのお古。ナエタンの匂い。くんかくんか。
Oh my god. Daru, down boy. I know, I say that a lot. But still.
そんなことするなら貸しませんよ。
冗談ですさせん。
The dress inside the paper bag looks high quality, judging by the material it's made out of. What material is it?
父が作らせてくれたんです。
Really? Tennouji had it made for her. Of course, he would have something made for her. I mean, Nae is such a daddy's girl. And Tennouji dotes on her like crazy. So this makes complete sense. That Mr. Brown goes and gets the moon. Let me say that again. That Mr. Brown goes and gets the moon for Nae-tan.
でも、よくそんなの持ってたね。
それも父が、こっちで機会があるかもしれないって荷物の中に。
He snuck it into her luggage? That crafty devil.
でも、もう昔のものなので、サイズも合わないんですけどね。父の中では、私はいつまでも子供のままみたいです。
I mean, you'll always be daddy's little girl, Nae. I mean, so That's fair, really. And yeah, since it doesn't fit her anymore, I bet it will fit Frau. For a parent, their child is always their child. Yeah. No matter how old they become. Exactly. A long time ago, I would have never understood that. Now, I sympathize with Mr. Brown. And now that he has a daughter of his own. Yeah.
でもいいんですか？ナエさんも確かコンテストに出場するんですよね。ほら、昔から敵に塩を送るって言葉があるでしょ。情けは人のためならずとも言いますし。
That's a very good saying. One good turn deserves another. Is she an angel? Well, not in the, literal sense, but, she can be, and, she's daddy's little angel, for sure.
で、肝心のフラウボーはどこにいるの？
Yeah, where is Frau? There she is.
皆さんお揃いでどうしたん？
Well, this is a new location. Oh, hey, it's the Tanagashi machine in the background. On a poster, anyway. Yeah. This is a new location, so... Robot lecture poster. Recruiting participants. Let's make a robot with Central T Robot Club. Anything else? Nishino Omote Shopping Center map. Welcome to Nishi no Omote Shopping Center. I said it perfectly the first time. Jeez. Anything else? Nope. Where are we anyway? Looks like we're in a classroom or a lecture hall.
フラウボーこそここで何してるのさ。
暑いのは苦手なので。
Frauton is cooling off in the indoor facility. That is the Robo-Lec event hall. Okay, so we are in a lecture hall.
まったく人が仕事をしているというのに。
According to Subaru-kun, she's apparently been here watching Neavid all day on her phone droid.
まあいいよ。それよりコナちゃん、これ。
Yashu-kun hands her the outfit that Naiton just brought over.
なんこれ。
It's for you.
とりあえずこれに着替えてみて。
だが断る。
Come on, Frau.
そう言わないで。せっかくナエさんが用意してくれたんだからさ。
ガタ。
What's wrong?
ということは、これはナエ様の。
Yes, it is.
ええ、私が昔着たものですよ。
ナエ様のお風呂。ナエ様の匂い、くんかくんか。
Oh my god, here we go. It's like Frau and Daru are too much alike.
橋田さんと同じことしてる。
But, でも、
やっぱりダメ。
Why? Why can't you, Frau? Come on. She shoves the dress away. Come on. Say, come on, Frau. She's trying to help you.
敵の施しを受けぬが武士の誉れですし。
You're not a samurai, though. Also, talk to the hand.
武士じゃないじゃん。
For once, I call the line that Akiho says.
とにかくこれはお断りします。
Why?
そうですか。せっかく用意したんですが、残念です。
You've disappointed Nae, Frau. Come on.
ナエさんの行為なのにな。
Yeah, poor Nae-san. Look how upset she is. Frau.
じゃあ、せっかくだし、うちが着ようかな。
You, Akiho? You're not entering the pageant, are you?
なぬ。
あ、だったら私が。
Frau, all the other girls wanna wear it. What does that tell you?
ちょ。
いやいや、それなら僕が。
Daru? You're not gonna try and put Nae's dress on. It will not even fit you. I'm just trying to picture him in a dress now. Oh my god. Just the image is so wrong in my head, I feel. But at the same time, it's a funny image. I mean, Daru, of all people, in a dress.
待って、じゃあ私が。
どうぞどうぞ。
It's like reverse psychology here.
しまった
I guess pro strats like this still work with the youngsters these days.
ほらほら、いいから早く着替えるよ。
Come on, Frau.
まだ着ると言った覚えは。
How I have missed that hand movement. Frauton gets dragged into a room by Akitan and the others without so much as a chance to refuse.
っていうか、アキちゃん、こんなところで油売ってていいのかな。買い出しの途中って言ってたけど。
Oh, was she? About 10 minutes... Am I still Daru? About 10 minutes later...
遅いね。
何言ってんの？女子のおしゃれには時間がかかるもんなのだぜ。
俺の周りあんまりそういう子いないから。
Come to think of it, neither Akitan nor Juntan wear any makeup whatsoever. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, from a guy's perspective, for me personally, I prefer, natural beauty. I mean, I don't particularly like it when a girl puts on like really heavy makeup. Personally, I feel like it's too much. Just a little light makeup is fine, but a bunch of makeup, yeah, and I don't know, it just, for me, too much makeup just doesn't quite look as attractive. But that's just me. I mean, it's my preference. I don't know if anyone shares my opinion. I mean, that's how I feel about the makeup on a girl. Too much makeup is just not very attractive to me. Either no makeup or just a little bit, to accentuate their features. Too much makeup and their features just get lost, I feel. So that's my opinion. I don't know if anyone else shares it, but that's me. And the same goes for Frau-tan too. Airi-tan isn't even at the age to care about makeup. I mean, she's 14. Girls by the age of 14 are of course interested at makeup at that point in their lives. It's like, come on, Daru. Get with the times. As for Nae-tan, she never really cared about makeup either. Even as an adult? So I guess it's understandable that they would take a while, but are they going to be okay? They'll be fine. The thought running through my head, I sense a presence outside of the door. Oh?
準備できたよ。
And that presence was Juna?
お、
ほら、フラウも、早く。
だが断る。
Come on, Frau. Show me how you look. I want to see.
いつまでもそんなこと言ってないで、覚悟を決めてください。ほら。
ラメー
Frau, please. I'm asking nicely. Shoved from behind, Frau-tan comes stumbling out, the tone of her voice defeated.
どうです？
Wow.
おお。
She's dressed to the nines. She looks beautiful. And her hair, her hair's all done. It does look a little weird with one side up and one side down, but other than that, she looks stunning. And the little tiara, that's a nice touch. She looks very, very beautiful. Actually, get out IRUO so I can kind of get a better look a little bit. Some really nice gloves with looks like a floral or leaf pattern on it. Very, very nice. You look gorgeous, Frau. I'll fall in for you all over again.
これは
While we both agreed that the foundation was there, I don't think either of us really realized how much it was going to change. I mean, she looks great. But the shy Frau-tan in front of us blows our expectations and worries out of the water.
どうよ、カイ。
Yeah, Kaito, what do you think?
驚いた。
だよね。私たちも驚いちゃった。こんなに綺麗になるなんて。私には最初から分かってましたよ。
No, this is crazy. She's all like nervous now. It's like no reason to be nervous, Frau. You're in good company. Frau Tan's hands are fidgety. She's probably both embarrassed and uncomfortable. I mean, I can understand why, but she doesn't have to be, not around her friends. And that alone is just wow.
ねえ、スバルは？
Yeah, Subaru, what do you think? Subaru?
スバルくん？
いや、これは別人では？似た顔の人と入れ替わったとか？
No, it's clearly Frau, Subaru. It's like, how could it be someone else with that exact same laugh?
その気色悪い笑い方となるとやっぱり古氷なのか。
Subaru-kun gazes upon Frau Tan once again and releases a breath of admiration.
見事に化けたものだな。
She looks great, doesn't she?
そんな面孔みたいな言い方したらフラウちゃんに悪いでしょ。
Menko? What's a Menko?
すみません。ですがあまりにも驚いたもので。
That's understandable. I nearly didn't recognize Frau Tan. But if there was one problem...
こっちみんな。みんなで話を合わせて、その気にさせる気でしょ。わかります。
I mean, that's the whole point, really. You look amazing, Frau. Don't you want to get complimented on how amazing you look?
その手には乗らんぞ。
やっぱ問題はこの喋り方だよね。
That's gonna take some serious doing, Kaito. I mean, she is who she is. She speaks the way she speaks. It's... You know what I'm thinking right now? With this whole business of the beauty pageant and with how Frau speaks, her personality, this screams to me My Fair Lady, you know, the play and the movie. It's so much like that, I feel right now. Everybody nods in sync. The contest is going to include self-introductions and a Q&A session. Even if she was to get up on stage like this, as soon as she opens her mouth, the entire audience will be confused. He's not wrong. But I'm not going to be the one to say that.
この口調をなんとか矯正することができればいいんですが。
Like I said, that's going to take some doing. It's like, Like, in the movie version of My Fair Lady, it's like Rex Harrison's character tries to get Audrey Hepburn's character, to try and speak, a specific way, and she has difficulty. But in the end, she manages it. But I feel like with Frau, it's going to be even more of a hurdle. If I'm being honest.
人を変人扱いしようってからに。
それじゃあ普通に喋ることはできるのか？
Not without some help.
できる
Of course I can. Of course I can.
ほう。それじゃあやってもらおうじゃないか。
丘の下。
Everybody looks at Frauton, and the atmosphere tenses up. All she has to do is speak normally, quote unquote. But I guess I've never heard her speak like a normal person, so I can't even imagine what that'd sound like.
そんなに見つめられると恥ずかしいタコ。
Octo?
タコ？
いや、それ制服タコ娘の喋り方じゃん。
Invader Octo Girl? Excuse me? What is this? Yeah, wah. Fiction, a popular manga from a weekly shonen magazine that was also adapted as an anime. A gag manga that centers on the fuss made by an octopus girl who desires to conquer Earth while living at a beach house. Okay, that is very weird. Thanks to its popularity, adding octo, shu, etc. at the end of a sentence has become commonplace in SNS. Huh. Alright. Is this... I wonder if this is like a, reference to some kind of, like, real manga. If anyone knows, by means, let me know. Because I don't read manga. I mean, I've seen manga like at the, like at Barnes and Noble, but I've never really, felt the compunction to actually buy one and read one.
So んなことないかしら。
That's probably a little too formal.
ゴールデンメイデンの西田ですね、わかります。
Inishida from Golden Maiden. Inishida, fiction, the name of an antique doll based on the heroine of the anime Golden Maiden. In Golden Maiden, fiction. One day, an antique doll was sent to the protagonist in this manga. It depicts battles between the antique dolls, okay, that the characters interact with. Very strange. It was adapted into an anime, of course. A former prime minister famously loves to read it. Seriously? A former prime minister loves to read this manga. Alright. I'll buy it.
違うなりよ。
Naughty?
あ、それ俺でも知ってる。クラスケでしょ？カツレツ大百科の。
Boy, getting a lot of tips right now. Cutlets Encyclopedia. Fiction. A slice of life gag manga for kids. It features science fiction that includes time machines. Oh, that's right up my alley. It's like, I love time machine stories. You know, Back to the Future, the Time Machine, the original 1960s version, and the early 2000s remake. I both really enjoy. A super popular title liked by a wide age range, excuse me, that was adapted to an anime in 1987. Since then, it has re-aired multiple times up to the present day. Cutlet, an elementary school student, loves creating inventions from the Cutlet's encyclopedia left by his ancestor, who was an inventor in the Edo era. Got it. Okay. Sounds interesting. You know, I love time travel stories, but yet I have never seen Doctor Who. I've not seen any of it. And I know that's like one show that's been around like for ages. I mean, when did it first start? I think it was like, what was it? I think it started in the 60s. If I remember correctly. Kurosuke. Fiction. A small robot that appeared in a TV anime, Cutlet Encyclopedia. It was invented by the protagonist Cutlet, and it has a habit of saying, naughty. It's remembered for its black and round form, and its favorite food is pork cutlet. Huh. Alright. Makes complete sense now why the protagonist is called Cutlet now.
ぐぬぬ。
全部アニメキャラの真似ばっかりで全然普通じゃないじゃないか。
I mean, if that's what helps her, maybe she can pull this off. I don't know.
自分を偽っての勝利など何が勝利か。
I mean, that's actually a fair point. And now she's pissed. And now she's pissed.
私はフラウさんが言いたいことわかる気がします。
Yeah, I can too.
どうせならありのままの自分を評価してほしいってそう言いたいんですよね。
Yeah, it's like she feels like if she's not true to herself, that people won't actually get to know her the way she actually is. And if they get to know her as basically someone else, that's just kind of lying to them and not just to yourself, you know? Huh? Was that the message? I mean, that's what I got. But
ありのままの。
自分ね。
I mean, I've accepted the way she is, and I love her for it. It's like, if anyone can't accept Frau for the way she is, then they are not worth her time.
とりあえず言葉遣いは後にして別の対策を練った方がいいかもしれません。
だね。
つうかこれもう脱いでもいいよね。
You're just gonna strip it off right here? I'm not trying to be perverted, but It's like she just seems to want to just like immediately take this off, just rip it right off.
そういえばさ、コンテストで特技の披露ってのはあるよね。あれどうするつもり？
I mean, every beauty pageant has a talent demonstration. So yeah, it's like, what is she gonna do for the talent portion?
コナちゃんの特技っていうと、やっぱりプログラム？
I mean, it is, but that's not something that you can easily demonstrate.
確かに特技は特技ですが、それを披露と言っても。
プログラムは見せ物じゃないので。
In a way, yeah. And how would she do that on stage anyway?
まあ、作ったものを披露しても会場の人には伝わらないだろうし。
他に特技はないの？フラウボ。
Actually, the one way that I can think of to actually show the audience to show the audience that she's skilled in programming is to show them Genki and Rosetta, you know, her bots on her phone. So she could do that, you know, like hook her phone up to like a big screen to show the audience or something like that. So and show them like how Rosetta and Genki work and everything. She could do it that way. That's an idea.
演習率の暗唱とか。
Doesn't everyone know that though?
すごいけど地味だよね。
I mean, true, but you know, it is a talent.
右手と左手でじゃんけんとか。
Okay, that's an odd thing to be talented with. Okay.
ひよこの私有鑑別とか。
You mean like a baby chicken?
それはそれですごいですけど。
他にはないのか。
あ、勝手なこと言い過ぎじゃね。
It's like her talents aren't easy to show off for a beauty pageant.
そんな何個も特技とかないだろ、上皇。
I mean, that is true. Frau is right to say that. If it was normal for people to have so many talents, no one would have a hard time at job interviews ever. In which case...
ダンスとかどうかね。
Actually, funny you mentioned that.
ダンス？
そう、フラウタンもニア道で踊ってみたとか見たりするでしょ。ほら、今流行ってるあの曲あるじゃん。練習すればあれとか踊れんじゃね？
I like that. I like the way that the Japanese say dance. Dance?
ダンスね。それができたらすごいかもしれないけど。
Oh, she can. I mean, they just haven't witnessed it. Everyone looks at Frautan again.
無理ぽ。
Ga.
が
が
Whoops.
どうだフルゴーリ。
ダンスっていうことは人前で踊るってこと。もうマジ無理。
Come on, Frau. I know you can dance. I guess you would be too embarrassed to actually dance in front of a lot of people, which is understandable, especially if she's never done something like that before. I figured as much. Well, this is a good little break here, so I'm actually going to stop this here for today. So, it's gonna be very, very tough to get Frau to, you know, basically be quote unquote normal for the pageant. I mean, it's going to be a task, but I truly believe that by the end of her route, she is going to win this to win this pageant. I mean, it's her route after all, so she has to, right? And if she doesn't, you know, it would just be a good, you know, lesson. A good, you know, lesson of who she is and, you know, what others people think of her. I mean, and like I said, it's like if no one accepts her for who she is, they're not worth their time. It's like it's their loss, really, you know? Never in a million years would I have thought that this would be Frau's route in this game, with her taking part in a beauty pageant. I would have never guessed this, but I'm really invested in Frau's route because I am so very interested in the outcome. I can't wait for more, but we'll save that for another time. So I hope you all enjoyed watching, and thank you all for watching as well. And if you enjoyed the video and want to see more, like, favorite, and claw that subscribe button to become part of the pack. And as always, everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, wherever you may be.